In every single school, there are those students who just feel out of reach. Today, we're going to take a look at a program designed specifically for them. It's called the Youth Empowerment and Rehabilitation Support Program, and it's all about creating change from right inside the school walls. And this quote right here, wow, it's from the program's founder, Inez Mitchell, and it just cuts right to the heart of why so many programs for at-risk youth don't quite work and why this one is different. It's all about credibility, the kind that only comes from real lived experience. So I want to ask you something, especially if you're an educator, a counselor, or a principal listening to this. Just for a second, think about your school. Who's actually getting through to those students? The ones with walls built so high, it feels like no one can ever break through. Okay, so first up, let's really nail down the challenge that we're all facing here. We're talking about those students who, for a whole bunch of complicated reasons, are slipping through the cracks in our system. Misguided, neglected, belligerent, withdrawn. Do any of those words ring a bell? See, these aren't just labels we throw around. They're symptoms. They're describing kids who are trying to navigate things like poverty, abuse, and just a total lack of consistent support. These are the students you see every single day, the ones who test every limit you've got. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of the matter. The real problem isn't that these kids aren't smart. It's not about potential. It's a relationship problem. It's about that empty space where a consistent, trusted adult should be. Someone who actually gets the world they have to walk back into every afternoon. So if the big problem is trust, right, then the solution has to start with a messenger they can actually trust. And that brings us to the founder of this program, Miss Inez Mitchell. When you look at Miss Mitchell's life, it's like her entire journey has prepared her for this exact work. She grew up in New York City, right in the middle of street culture and family instability. Early on, she just developed this instinct to protect the people around her, and that drive led her to work in group homes, to become a foster parent for kids in the system, and even to train as a teacher. It's a really rare and powerful mix of personal insight and professional grit. And that's the thing. For her, this is personal. It's not some abstract theory from a book. She sees her own story in these students. When she says they were more like me, she's talking about a deep, firsthand understanding of that pull of the streets, the chaos at home, and that feeling of just being completely misunderstood by everyone. But it's not just about her life story. That lived experience is backed up by some serious professional qualifications. We're talking hands-on work in residential homes, fostering youth straight from the juvenile justice system, training as an educator, and doing extensive work with emotionally disturbed students. She gets both sides of it, the world the kid lives in, and the system that's supposed to be there to help. Okay, so we've got the right messenger. Now, what does the program actually look like? Let's get into the nuts and bolts, because the structure is just as intentional as its founder. First off, it's a really focused 6-week program. That's a time frame that's long enough to build real trust and new habits, but it's not so long that it feels overwhelming. It's designed for real, tangible growth. And during those 6 weeks, the contact is super consistent. 3 sessions every single week. That frequency is key. It makes the program a reliable, stable part of that student's life, creating this really powerful rhythm of support and accountability. And check out how the week is structured. It's really smart because it's built around the toughest times for a student. Monday is for resetting after what might have been a chaotic weekend. Wednesday is that crucial midweek check-in to see what's coming up. And Friday is all about gearing them up with strategies to handle the next 48 hours, which, as we all know, can be the most unstructured and challenging time for them. So what are they actually doing in these meetings? Well, it all boils down to 4 key things. First, there's group dialogue, where students talk about the real-life stuff they're dealing with right now. Then, personal journals give them a private space to process their own emotions. Accountability is huge. You have to earn your way through this program. And finally, confidentiality creates that safe space, but it's always balanced with the professional duty of mandatory reporting if any safety issues come up. All right, let's talk about the bottom line for you and your school. How does something like this actually help the overall school environment? What are the tangible benefits here? Think of this slide as a kind of before and after snapshot. On the left, you've got the reality many of us know too well: constant classroom disruptions, punishing the symptoms instead of the real problems, and kids who are just totally isolated. The goal of this program is to shift that, to move towards student self-regulation, getting at the root causes, and building real, actual connections. And this isn't just about feelings. It leads to real results you can see in your school. It gives your teachers and counselors targeted support. It provides mentorship that's culturally responsive, something these kids can actually relate to. And what happens? You see better decision-making, fewer behavioral incidents, and, this is a big one, students start to actually trust the support systems you already have in place. And the last big piece to understand here is that this isn't some outside company you just hire. It's not a quick fix. It is designed from the very beginning to be a true partnership for change. So Miss Mitchell's role is more than just a facilitator. She's the founder, sure, but she's also a mandated reporter and, most importantly, a direct partner with your existing team. She works inside the school's ecosystem, not separate from it. And of course, the school has a huge role to play too. It's a two-way street. Your staff, your teachers, your counselors, you're the experts on the ground who know which students need this the most. It depends on real collaboration and, just as important, on you reinforcing the positive changes you start to see back in the classroom. And honestly, that's the secret sauce. This whole thing works because it doesn't try to replace your team. It adds a powerful new resource to your team to support the incredible, and let's be honest, incredibly difficult work you're already doing every single day. Which brings us right back to where we started, back to the why. This whole program, all of it, was born from that simple, painful feeling from Miss Mitchell's own life, what it feels like to have no one, no go-to person, and everything we've talked about is designed to finally give that to the students who need it most. So I'll just leave you with this question. When you think about the students walking your hallways, could this program and this very specific kind of messenger finally be the go-to person that makes all the difference for them? Thanks for listening.